sure the orientation, because I haven't seen a revised plan or something to re-sign. On the other hand, this is a fairly good sized site, 2 acres. If things are generally where they're going, or finished floors are generally where they're going, it shouldn't require a lot of revisions or new site plans or things like that. There's room to shift things around in the back where they propose things. So unless there's a drastic site change, I would generally not have any major engineering concerns, but I don't see the re-sign from, I think on the notes it says it was re-signed in 2005 or
15.
Okay. I don't have that,
You have that?
but
In black?
I apologize.
No, it's okay, hang on. My apologies.
Not this one.
Yes. Thank you.
All right, well, this looks,
Unchanged?
yeah, I mean, for the re-sign, puts everything back together. Yep. So in light of that,
Is there a change in the location of the septic?
not from what I see, all of the tests for perk tests are in the same location, and the deep hole test is in the same location. So
You still planning on building a pond?
The pond is there.
Okay.
The pond is there. The Monroe County, the health departments are, I resubmitted paperwork to them and they've approved that. So they've got the new paperwork from them. The septic staying in the exact same spot. The house generally, like the engineer said, is staying pretty much right where it is. I mean, barring it being shifted a little bit, it's not moving from that area.
And there's no barn on the parcel?
The barn is no longer being built. She doesn't need the barn because she's putting the attached garage on the home.
What is the 15, was it a 3-bedroom or 2-bedroom or 4-bedroom?
4-bedroom on the original approval was a 4-bedroom.
Right, I see that, but.
The new one is a 3-bedroom.
In the 2015, was it shown? The re-signed?
No, but the septic on the original approval was approved for a 4-bedroom. So it's more conservative than what's proposed now.
So there's no significant change to the drainage pattern? It's sheds one way only, away from the property is shown?
Pretty much as shown. There's a basic swale on the north end of the site where everything goes to, intercepted much by the pond, but then continues on to the northeast. So that's what was always proposed.
Upon completion of a site like this, we normally request an instrument survey map before C of O.
Yes, for CFO, yes.
Okay. Anybody else have comments?
Chris, Nick?
Steve?
None.
Cheryl?
No comments. I was just, well, originally I was just concerned with the different house size, the house size and location.
Got a little concerned about you're saying the garage is now gonna be attached.
No, the garage is no longer going to be there. The house is going to have, it's going to have an attached
It's gonna have an attached, yeah.
2-car garage.
Okay, the reason I look at this, and you're looking at 728 feet from the corner of your house to the right of way, with the garage in front of the foundation
but you can't have a building in front of the foundation. If that garage is gonna be moved and attached to the house, then I question the drainage, because you can see we got, pretty good.
This one right here is an 02.
This is an old
Really,
two.
the 15 is different.
And there's a 15 that was the same one.
We haven't seen, that we haven't seen.
Yeah, that's why I gave it.
Yeah,
to
I
you.
guess when I look at the whole thing, if there was any zoning had to be changed, any variances, anything like that, it'd be 20 years old. If there was a public hearing, it'd be 20 years old. And then if I really think about a Mylar, goes to the county clerk. She registers it. That's how you pay your county taxes, okay? The building permit comes right from here. And I really question if you wouldn't be, this tonight could be concept, come in with new prints, have everything new, and go from there, the same as you would.
So the 2015 ones are only 7 years old, they're not.
They're 7 years old. The code book in several places mentions that you have 1 year to do
So
something.
what would the?
So you're 700 times over what the code book says.
7%.
700%, yeah, thank you. You know, and I don't know if the right way for the citizens of the community, especially the neighbors, might be to come in, tell us what you're gonna do tonight, have a good set of prints, give it to the clerk. You know, and usually we do it in 3 steps. And the second or third step, you can get the same night if everything is okay. But I'm not sure where you.
If there is not a change of significance, then you're not. Can you see that? You can see that. And you know what? I take it up there. I'm running up here and go. Yes, sir. They haven't quite been this long, mature. And it's
The elevations have changed. We only had 50,000 drainage. The elevations have changed.
This is the most recent.
This is the one, this
Yeah.
one doesn't matter.
This one doesn't matter.
Yeah, this is the one to look at. Okay, that was just that confusion.
It smooths things out a little bit.
See, that is not showing that.
Yeah.
So your changes is just the size of the house, you can make it a little smaller,
Yeah, it's gonna be a little bit smaller, 1 bedroom.
and the same location,
Same
same
lo-
driveway configuration?
Same driveway's already in, we're building it
Okay.
to fit the
So in-
driveway.
2015, you came in with another Mylar to get re-signed. It was a different picture than
I
the
don't know,
original
this
one.
may not have been a re-sign because it wasn't
That was reapproved.
reapproved.
Was reapproved. in
Because they made some
2015.
Yeah, okay.
Does anybody else want to take a look at this? Because you're looking at a different.
Who's going to approve this with the completion of the line?
I think we have to do something that's okay, this is, that was gonna be a problem.
Yeah, it's just.
Garage
If you're
and
standing,
an instrument location that will show it on the site. Okay. This goes back to JP and Keith. Okay, it's a yes or no. Okay. Can we re-sign this map that was approved in 2015? basically changes aren't significant, and the septic hasn't changed location. And the drainage is, positive drainage away from the building. This is what this.
My take is nothing has changed since 2015.
Pardon me?
My take is nothing has changed since 2015 as relates to the site plan. Now, they may choose not to build a barn, but we're not forcing anyone to build a barn.
Right.
In fact, if you approve that, or as it sits now, if it was still a valid
Well,
plan,
that, the barn will be crossed out.
well, they could build everything except the barn, or maybe do it later. That's right.
Okay.
So no one's forcing them to build a barn.
Right.
And as JP has indicated, when we show a box for a house on a plan, it's a conceptual idea.
Oh, absolutely.
So build whatever house you like with two-car garage or
We don't
not.
have an architectural review board here.
That is correct.
Okay. All that being said, we need to make a resolution if we're gonna re-sign it. Does there need to be a seeker?
No.
Okay.
I'll make a resolution, proposed resolution that we approve the application of Sharon Stokey, owner Sharon Stokey, for a Mylar re-signing for 816 Hamlin Center Road. It's originally signed, now this says May of 2002, but, oh, okay. So this is misleading. I'm gonna say this was originally signed in February 15th of 2015, because it's a totally different drawing. The new owner is asking for a re-signing. This will be the third revision of the design of the dwelling. This is in the RVL zoning district, tax account number 021.04-01-021.21. Following documents have been submitted for review. Letter of intent, the original Mylar from May of 2002, and the re-signed I'll say that the other approved Mylar from 2015. Although it says 2005. That's it.
Second.
Poll the votes?
Linda DeRue,
Yes.
Dave Martin,
Yes.
Chris Schleider,
Yes.
Mark Bellerstein,
Yes.
James Nesbitt,
Yes.
Steve Hittner.
Yes.
Okay, very good. Just so you know, I resign it. The other people that are mundane to this project have to resign it. Okay, and you might want to talk to, have you got a discussion with the design professional that did this?
Yes.
Okay, you might want to show the revision and the rules of building.
Okay.
Okay, and then we have something we can resign. Resign this portion tonight, that's it. Okay?
So you'll want me to bring the one with the barn
Just
removed?
remove the barn, show a revision block, house to meet town standards, whatever you gotta do.
Okay. And then get that over here for the,
So we can get through and re-sign it, that's. All right,
that sounds good.
okay. I'm just gonna put my initials on it as discussed. Okay. Okay, Cheryl, do you want this, so we can compare, anyone that comes in, and then have a discussion with Cheryl and further meeting what we need to have and get your permits.
Okay, that sounds good. Thank you very much.
No problem. Okay, as an addition to the meeting, a site plan change for Tim Slasser.
Yes, sir.
We just saw you last month.
Last month.
Yes.
Well, at least it hasn't been 10 years.
Yes, you were at it. Boy. Now, you're not gonna do this again, are you?
No,
Okay.
we finally made it to that point where we could actually get them signed,
Okay, so
we got
what,
approvals.
you have a change to the site plan in relation to the sewer line hookup.
Yes, we were gonna be hooking up to Pure Waters, and then Pure Waters told us we had to go and put in a grinder pump and pump it to the other one that's on the west side of the property. They later, when I started getting all the redrawings done, they came back to us and says, no, we'll let you tap into ours that are on the east side of the property, the original plan. The only difference that had to change on the drawings at that point was just putting the L and P on there to show where their easement is and where it is inside the box. So that's the only change that happened to the drawings since we talked last.
Okay. JP.
I think I have the drawing in the office.
Again, I don't have
Yeah, I think he just brought it in.
any drawings to review or comment on. So,
Are they over here?
Yeah, you turned that at the,
Okay.
it's the roll of them up there.
Oh, this one here. Huh?
Yes, sir.
Want to give this to JP?
Yeah, to resign.
Well, when another agency drives a change that makes sense, either due to closeness or one's closer than the other, makes clear difference, I guess we have to entertain it. And last meeting, if there was gonna be a change. I'm not gonna count it figure. Put the rest of us here. Very good.
The pipe is too.
Huh?
I said the pipe is bigger too.
Oh, yeah. Might cost less electricity to run too.
Oh, yeah. It's better all the way around, gravity feed and than having that stupid hump. They're not cheap to replace. They're about $6,500 just for the pump.
Cool.
okay, so the changes for lot 2, I believe,
Three.
lot 3. And the county has allowed you to do a gravity connection.
Yes.
So you're showing a 4-inch gravity lateral. And the county Pure Waters has signed off on it.
Yes, sir.
Well, yeah, I don't see any, doesn't change, you don't need any easements to the other lots. Lot 2 is already
Yeah.
pretty much covered the way that easement lays out, so.
As long as the new site plan shows it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Do we have to re-sign anything on this?
It's a site change, so it's not nothing.
Is there a spot for us to re-sign it?
Oh, yeah.
Are we re-signing the Mylar?
Well, there's a whole blank signature block,
Get that
so
done?
sure can.
Do we even need to have a resolution on that?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm abstaining.
Again?
Sure, Dave.
Make a motion then for Timothy Schlosser, 131 Maple Lane, for the site plan changed according to the sewer line hookup as presented.
Linda Giroux,
Yes.
Dave Martin,
Yes.
Chris Schleider,
Yes.
Steve Buckley. Okay. There's Steve. There's
Jim
another.
Ned.
Got the wrong name on there.
Okay, no, James has it. Put it down there, put some phone down. Where'd that go? Mark Fellerstein.
Abstain.
Steve Hittner.
Coming back next month?
No. We'll have a foundation by next month.
Oh, good luck. Good luck with that.
Well, my brother's gonna be the one pouring it. And you can let my mom know that at this point here, it's not hush hush no more.
We can talk about it.
Talk about it.
Okay, good.
All right. Thank you, guys.
Yep, thanks.
I'm sure you're gonna take the drawing?
Yes.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Water Authority told me they didn't need a signature on it.
Okay, I'll just get all our other required signatures and I'll give you a call.
Okay.
Okay, thanks.
See you tomorrow.
Okay, bye-bye.
Thank you.
Good luck.
They stay here.
Probably need the cabbies. Cheryl, we need the water authority someday too.
He just said that we don't need the water authority.
Okay. As long as they give you a period of this.
Yeah, I'm just here to try.
Alright. Next item on the agenda. Next Energy, Eugene Valley property at 1764 Walker Lake, Ontario Road. Special use permit application. We've come this far.
Thank you.
Want a copy?
Yeah, thank you.
In this neat little packet, what is different from what we've seen in the past?
Not much. So, it's incorporated a couple different things, as far as we've received a letter from the Ag and Markets, we've received a letter from SHPO, we've received a letter from the DEC. So just that's updated in here. Everything else I've included about the subdivision, that we're gonna talk about later.
Okay.
Nothing else changed, site plan's the same.
JP and Keith, this is the first time you've seen this resubmittal.
Oh, this particular document, yes.
Yeah, a lot of this is kind of mixed in with the packet we have. So the only question I had was on the subdivision issue.
Which we'll get into, but I wanna, we're at a point in time, I think, where we can move this on in the process.
Mhm.
Based on what's being submitted tonight, and then we plan the freshest ones, let's put it that way. We've done the lead agency thing. I don't believe we need to have any more scoping sessions. From the board, Keith, is it appropriate to try to schedule a public hearing for these folks based after the subdivision is approved?
I don't recall, did we do the, send out the 30-day notices?
Yes, it was, yes.
Okay, all right, well, my apologies.
No, okay.
Well, in that case, then we can schedule the public hearing and we can put seeker to bed at the same time we do the public hearing.
We set a public hearing for both and put the subdivision first and this second.
Doesn't matter because you're doing them both at the same time.
So it becomes concurrent no matter what the clock says, is what you're saying.
That's correct, and for seeker purposes, you have to consider both anyway.
Right. Okay, very good. That being said, I guess I would like to see a resolution state request requiring a public hearing date for next month. June 6th.
Okay, I'd like to propose that we establish a public hearing for the special use permit as well as the property split for Next Energy Eugene Dollard for 1764 Walker Lake, Ontario Road for the construction and operation of a large-scale solar energy system. Parcel number 2. I got it. Okay.
I'd like to separate those out.
Oh, you want two separate?
Yeah, I would, because I want to discuss the subdivision just a little bit before we go that far. And then we can do it concurrently for next month.
But I'd like to split the resolution up, okay, at this time.
Okay, then just the special use permit. Let me back it up, I'll just restate it. I'd like to propose for the special use permit for Next Era Energy and Eugene Ballard at 1764 Walker Lake Road, Walker Lake, Ontario Road, that we establish a public meeting for June 6th at 7 o'clock. Second.
Hold the votes.
Linda Drew,
Yes.
Dave Martin,
Yes.
Rich Schleider,
Yes?
James Nesbitt,
Yes.
Mark Valentine,
Yes.
Steve Pittman.
Yes. Okay, as far as the subdivision and the lot that's being carved out of this. Okay, next item on the agenda. Where are we at with description size? The lot, does the lot need any zoning setback issues or anything? Do we know?
I don't.
I don't,
Do we have a description in anywhere in this package showing a subdivision map?
I sent it over. I sent it over to the town.
You know which one it is? Is it in this
I
packet?
think it's separate from that.
I don't think I've seen anything.
Let us look.
Somewhere in here, I haven't seen it.
You have your resident engineer permit.
Yes.
Just
You
got
have the
off,
same land for subdivision in your back packet?
just had a Zoom call for another planning board in the car. On the.
There should be plans on this subdivision, but I haven't seen it. Have you seen this one?
Do we have it?
It would have been in it, that's the whole package.
Did you go through the big packet with the drawing again?
No, I didn't do that. This was just specific. So it's just.
Okay. So there is one in existence, I understand?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
It's on here. I can show it to you if you would like.
Well, what I would like is, in order for you to make this a co-application, is you need to have that information into this board by the date appropriate, okay? So that we can take a look at it at the public hearing time prior to the approval and make sure our engineer and the attorney gets copies. If you can, a lot of stuff gets lost in the mail, okay?
Understood.
Sometimes the mail takes 3 weeks to go from down the road here to this office.
Yeah, I sent it over around the 15th of April.
Okay. JP, is that all right?
yeah,
You gotta have something to look at.
no,
I
yeah,
just wanna make
absolutely.
sure that
No,
the-
the issues I've seen come up for financial reasons, I've seen these things split up. And half an array becomes on one property and half an array is on the other. And thereby you're not meeting setbacks, you're just putting a line between arrays. So I don't know how they're subdividing the property, and are we creating some orphan property in the back if you're subdividing the back separately? So,
Isn't it just taking the house up and the property around the house?
Right, so
That's all
if you
it
look
is.
on the site plans, there's a drawing that outlines the house and it goes to the north of the property, so you
Okay.
could see kind of where the cutout is. But basically, it's just
Right.
taking 5 acres.
Right, all right, then we need, it should be okay, we need the plat,
Yeah, it needs to be filed.
yeah, where we have the meets and bounds of all the properties.
It has to go to Cheryl in a timely fashion for distribution. And if that all happens, if we make a motion tonight to make this a, current public hearing, it has to be stated in that, meet the timeframe.
I can have it over to Cheryl by Wednesday of this week. I'll put a delivery notice on it to make sure that it gets signed and delivered.
Okay. It's a performance activated issue at this point in time.
Yes, sir, and we have the legal description of the 5 acre parcel as well as the layout and the tract of the land with the meets and bounds.
That's what we need.
Okay?
All right, you ready for,
Any other questions from anybody at this time?
I have one question on the bigger project, if you'd like it now.
Okay.
Okay.
I don't want them blindsided.
The lease agreement that we have is a memorandum of a lease agreement. Doesn't give some details that I think we'd want to know, like responsibility of, once it's into operation, of what cost the landowner is responsible for versus the owner operator of the system.
Okay.
And there's a few other things not in there that we may want to know from a legal standpoint. So I wonder if we could get the full agreement. If you want to X out some data, that's fine, but we should have knowledge of mainly who's paying the taxes.
Okay. Yeah, we pay the taxes for anything over and above what's currently.
Yeah, we don't know that.
But yes, I'll send over, along with the subdivision, I can send over the full lease agreement too.
I think that would be
We have
helpful.
all that information.
Avoid problem we had in the past.
Yeah.
Understood.
Yeah.
Happy to do.
All right, then I'll make a motion that on the property split for Next Era Energy and Eugene Dollard for 1764 Walker Lake, Ontario Road, that we establish a public hearing for June 6th at 7 o'clock, dependent on receiving all the documentation and site plans needed showing that property split, in the next week or something. We don't have, do we have a date certainly needed by
We
Cheryl?
need it by, Tuesday, May 17th at 12 noon.
Tuesday, May 17th to 12th.
Sounds good, we can do that.
I'll second it.
Call the roll, please.
Linda DeRue?
Yes.
Dave Martin?
Yes.
Chris Slider?
Yes.
James Nestor?
Yes.
Mark Bellerstein?
Yes.
Steve Ray.
Okay,
I
we're
trust you.
gonna go real quickly back to the first item on the agenda, people have not shown. Okay, kind of table this until they're present. They can have a motion for that, and Cheryl can keep these packets to be reissued to us,
I can do that.
okay?
Everybody just put them in a pile.
Right. So. Listen to me. Steve? Yours?
This for what?
Property merge? So we can keep the file together. Jim. Okay. Regular part of the meeting is over at this time. Now we're gonna have a discussion. Janine, there wasn't a lot tonight. We got something coming up we might need to know. There's a tree giveaway or something.
Right, well, actually, the tree giveaway happened, and I should have mentioned it last month, and I
Okay.
forgot, but, it was a very successful tree giveaway, and, it was the day after Earth Day, 23rd. And this year, for the first time, we actually ran out of trees before the time that we had set aside. In years past, sometimes people wanted to have extra trees, and I would always tell them, come back closer to 11 o'clock, and if we have trees left over, we don't want trees left over, and you can take more. And people stopped back, and we were out of trees by 20 after 10, and then usually we're there till 11.
It's been a good program then for us.
Right.
I haven't heard anything on the LWRP, is anybody else?
Just that it's been submitted.
It's at the Department of State, and welcome to New York State.
Somewhere there's a Zoom meeting being held.
As long as there isn't a clause in it about loud mufflers and stuff like that got passed in a midnight meeting.
Yeah. No, I think the whole application's in at the state, and we're waiting for comments, as far as I understand.
Now, the last one, not the last change, but when we did the first time, how many trips, Steve, do you want to go to Albany to make sure it gets done? 'Cause I talked to Charlie Maynard the other day, you know, and he had to go and keep changing it in the stack. Okay, he made 3 trips altogether to get the first LWRP. First one in the state, by the way, was this now. So, you want me to ask you that,
I know, he keeps telling me I need to go down there so I can see who shows up anymore down there.
Well, you do call me your pain in the butt, so I just thought I'd help you out.
No, I've heard from Charlie also.
Yeah, very good. Well, you got anything else, what's going on with the brush?
The brush doesn't even start till the 9th picking up. They're doing the garbage right now, dropping off down the highway. We did have a zoning board meeting. We made actually some progress on that. We're redoing our noise ordinance, making that set time limits for that, but setting the farmers out, exempting them. We talked about barbed wire around fences, because I was telling them it says in your thing that you can't have any, and we have it all around our town property. So I said, are we illegal, or should we change our book or whatever? On our security fences around stuff.
Right.
So she's working on that. We talked again about having not tiny houses, smaller houses on the lakefront and senior citizen tracks than what the zoning calls for now, to maybe fit on these smaller lots now down there, since once the sewer goes in. And so we're pretty sure we're gonna allow smaller houses on a foundation, not on trailer wheels, but on a foundation. Whether they mandate up on pylons down by the lake so that you're not sitting so low, or, whatever DEC says. And what else was there, Cheryl? There's one more. Oh, about the trailers,
Camping trailers.
Camping trailers, we're rewriting that somewhat, making it changing some of the wording as far as the length of time, maybe that you can stay in there and stuff. So our attorney is working on doing some rewrites right now.
Well, in reading a lot of the planning going on in other states, northern states versus the southern states, so there's a need for not only some trailers and snowbirds back and forth, as well as actually having places to live that are not apartments. Okay, so I think that's it's a great direction we probably should go.
And we do have a new assessor.
Yeah. Did she know anything about the town?
Does she know anything about town? Yes. So we have a new assessor. We're going to be interviewing for a new fire marshal this month. So we'll have a new fire marshal this month also.
Very good. GP?
Not much to report. Just we keep getting closer on the sewer. There's about half a dozen or so residents that we still can't get the easement for that we need, and we've been pushing from every direction, but we hope to get those secured. The DEC does seem to be reviewing the technical details, which I don't expect any hurdles there, but the READY Commission, the grant agency, wants us to secure the easements in order to complete the project, whether it's certain individuals don't sign up, but if we need to get down private roads and they're not signing and we can't hit the other houses on those private roads, that's the hurdle we're at. So there's just a half a dozen or so.
Are they just refusing, or they haven't?
It's just reaching them, you know, there's so many snowbirds and people don't, you know, read their mail, and they don't, you know, when you knock on a door and all these things, you try by every option you can try, and there's just a very, out of 300 or so, we're down to a half a dozen or something. So we're very close to getting everything put to bed. And, you know, we don't want to go to eminent domain for something that small, but I think I think between getting DEC's final approval and getting these last easements, we're very close. Coincidentally, we started Parma and Hamlin at the same time, doing basically identical projects on the lake shore. Parma's out to bid. We have pre-construction on Thursday. We're opening up bids a week from Thursday. So I hope we're not more than a few weeks away with the Hamlin side. So that's the big thing happening.
How anxious are you about inflation and your estimates versus bids?
I'll talk to you on a week from Thursday when we open bids.
I gotta imagine it's gonna be hard to predict.
I think we had a healthy. When the grant came out, it was 95% grant. We kind of made sure we weren't light, you know, because even if it came in high, we had some healthy contingencies. It's just been, market's been so unpredictable, you know. I'm hearing 26 weeks on delivery of all the grinder pumps. So even if we award the bid, you know, in a month, we're looking at November, December till parts come in.
Yeah.
So it's a crazy
Hard to bid that.
Yeah, it's a crazy market. So
What's the time frame, JP, as far as starting and finishing?
well, I hope for Hamlin we're going to be out to bid, as I say, a month from now, and have signed contracts in July or so, and then at this point it's probably not going to be much happen until late fall, early winter, and then getting people hooked on into next year, and completion.
Tough to do that during the winter.
Much of it is. Some of it's doable, and some of it might be easier on the lakefront.
Yeah.
You know, when things are quieter and things are frozen.
Water table.
Yeah.
I
So
can't imagine that everyone doesn't want that down there.
I don't know that they, Linda. I don't know that they don't want it. It's just about, you know, people ignore mail and they ignore things, and people.
That could be just 6 rental properties. People
That kind of thing. Yeah, I mean, we have the list that we get from the county that the assessor has, and it's always 6 months behind, and the properties change hands, and so it's sort of, you chase your tail a bit with property changes and who owns it and where are they, and are they ignoring it? And
can't you get the addresses out of the state?
We have the addresses. I've been to their houses twice. I was there again last weekend.
yeah.
I can remember those days trying to get water drainage.
Maybe you ought to go down to Albany, and when you come back, you might.
JP, how about like down to the yacht club, where that roadway belongs to an association?
Right.
Does that just take one vote?
I think that's off the list, isn't it?
No. I finally found out who is in charge of the beach association. It's not really the yacht club. They have nothing to really do with it.
There's 24 members.
But I found out who's in charge, and he's supposed to be coming in. I talked to him last week. He says he will be in here. He was supposed to be in Friday to sign it, but I'll have to give them another call tomorrow.
Yeah.
The Sandy Creek Beach Association.
Yeah.
They don't have any problems with signing it, but again, just,
But does that cover the 20, there's 24
yes.
members?
Yeah.
There's 24 cottages.
Yeah, but I think we find it's that's one easement.
It's one easement.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, and we, like I said, I think we have a half a dozen or 10 or something left. Steve?
No, we got about, you're right, with the 6.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that's
So if
one.
someone down there didn't want it, it's still going by.
If the association signs off on it.
Yeah.
And I guess what's important to know is the easement we're looking for is just to get the main line down the private road.
Yeah.
If on, sections of private roads, you don't want a grinder pump or you don't want to connect because you've just invested $6,000 in your septic, you don't have to connect to the system. We just want them to run the pipe down the main line so we can get to the rest of the houses. And if you don't want to connect, okay, but it's
It's going to
being,
increase the property value significantly, connecting that thing.
I know, but
And in the future, when you change your mind,
I think it's
to change is change.
95% now.
yeah, it's 95% paid for, you would think. Now's the time to do it.
I know, yeah, I think they don't understand it.
Well, Keith,
No sewer stories?
Oh, come on.
There was change in the open meetings law regarding Zoom. It's not mandatory, but apparently some folks in Albany like the Zoom meetings from COVID. And so they made it possible, if town governments want it, to have certain board members basically phone it in over Zoom. The problem under virtual video conferencing prior to COVID was that you had to have the board members in the same place as members of the public. So if you're doing a Zoom meeting out of your living room, that means you invite the members of the public into your home. That doesn't work so well. So they've exempted that out if the town board wants to do it. I'm not sure it's a big thing. It's not something I'd recommend, but that is the law now. That's all I've got.
Okay, well, if you got anything more, send it to Steve, take it to the board, and everybody make sure you have long coats with jackets when you're wearing your pajamas.
There is that, yes.
Cheryl,
Nothing new on the home front.
what happened while last week was a vacation week? What ended up happening with the bait shop?
The bait shop, I just got the letter back.
Bait.
Oh, with the driveway,
Yes.
there's no issues with it. It's totally acceptable on that highway. I had the letter, he just brought it in.
From DOT?
Mhm.
Was there one there in the past?
Not that I know of.
Okay.
They didn't say that there was.
So did
Even though
they
they
issue
thought-
a permit or they?
No, they just sent a letter. Just sent a letter, an acknowledgement letter. And I just got that, so I'm gonna make copies.
it's gotta have asphalt in the right way.
Well, that's up to DOT to determine that, with the
We
asphalt.
can't regulate that on
Yeah,
a state
no.
highway.
I mean, we all may realize about stones kicking out into the highway,
Yeah.
but it's not our responsibility.
Because as part of the motion or the discussion, we talked about not having a driveway in that spot. Do we have to do anything else, Keith, to negate that part of the motion? Or are we just seconding approval power to the state for telling us we can't deal with it? Or just put the darn thing in our file? Wouldn't that be the simplest thing to do, just put it in the file? Or is there something else we should do? Now you can tell a story.
The story time's over, I'm sorry. Which project is this?
The bait shop on the highway, he had built a barn, he wanted to put a business in
Oh,
there.
Out by
okay,
Kendall Mills.
okay,
Yes.
yes. Well, I guess you can't do anything about it if the DOT won't let you do it.
No, it's the opposite. The DOT, they're saying the DOT
It's fine.
is fine with
It's fine.
coming off Route
Yeah.
18. The problem is what was approved, he said, they'll come off the back,
His own driveway.
his own driveway. So that wasn't what,
And
I mean, that's not what the board approved.
Right.
So the driveway was there prior to our action.
I'm sorry, I'm missing all this.
Yeah.
So you want to change it?
I'm not sure what we want to do.
No,
I think you're fine, only, in my opinion, sir, only because the board already approved to use his personal driveway to his home as the driveway for access to.
and we were looking out for the neighborhood.
And it was a
so-
concern of, I think Mark even brought it up about
Right.
another driveway on Roosevelt Highway, but there's no, restrictions on how many driveways you can have on that highway.
Okay. I just like the fact that it was omitted, and remember that if you have to deal with people in the
I can
future.
just put it in the file, like I always do those letters, and I'll make sure everybody gets a copy of the letter.
So we gotta make sure that the town is covered when we have the first motorcycle accident. With the number 2 stones coming out of the driveway and that sharp curve.
Well, the owner should go back and the applicant, okay, he put it in, we recognize that it might be a dangerous condition, we reference that. But it is the auspices of the state of New York. Are we?
Yes.
But we're still requiring his customers use his main driveway. All right, is that correct? Why would we change our,
But someone's not gonna do that, if you drive by the place, they're gonna drive in off.
that driveway was there for a long time, months before it came here.
Really?
Yes, it's not a new driveway. They may have topped it, they may have improved it, but that driveway's been there a while.
Yeah, I think when he built the pole barn,
He put that stone in,
the stone was put in when he built.
which was a couple of years ago. It's not that
Yeah,
old.
and then he
And I
put
think
new
it's
crusher
good
run
stone.
a couple weeks ago.
And you can also tell the people, you know, that became a problem, well, you guys can exit or enter, okay, off Route 18. I just don't wanna be liable, like I said, if somebody gets hit coming around that corner.
The state usually requires in the right of way an asphalt area.
Apron, right, an apron.
Yeah.
I don't think we should change what we approved.
Right.
If he
That
wants to
needs a
take
new
his
site
own-
plan approval.
Anything else? I'm listening.
Linda's about ready to say something. Sure.
No, I always like to know what's going on with our friends on the corner
Solar panel.
with the cars
Yes, we
with no
are.
license plates and.
We're all set. Yes, they took care of everything we asked.
And on that training
Mhm.
at Tennessee Community College, we don't know what building to go to.
I did not get the packet out to you, because I haven't had a response yet, but someone else just, signed up today. So I'm gonna be emailing the young lady tomorrow to send me all the information for like yours and for the other one. So you'll have all the
I
information.
signed up for that too, did they go?
Yes,
through it?
yes.
Okay.
You also, so I think Rocky signed up, you're signed up,
I'm signed up.
you're signed up.
I did.
I signed up.
Martin signed up.
I think we're all going. I'm gonna get a van.
I guess I might as well sign up too.
Have a rented
Somebody
van
signed up
for
by
training.
one of the others.
Usually it's the first building off of Stephen Hawley is where you drive, there where you go in.
Yeah, there's.
The main
Because there's
road.
lecture halls and then there's the theater is
It'd be
across
nice
the
to
court.
know.
Well, yeah.
Across
you're
the
not
courtyard.
Scampering all over.
Right.
Yeah.
Doesn't a fire department have a van? And we collect taxes for them.
With a beer keg?
That one, oh, that one, they sold that one.
It's called Trailways, friends. Okay. Linda wants to know about the corner.
No, I'm just, he has more cars there without license plates and all
He's
that.
got letters, he hasn't picked any of the letters up, they've all been coming back. He's supposed to be going to court on the 16th, he did not accept the letter, so I will be showing up to court, and they will have to issue a non-court letter.
Doesn't a summons sometimes help? If it's,
think
dropped
that-
off at the residence by a law enforcement officer?
that
Do we
would
have
be
a
a-
town constable or anything?
That would be the court system to, I think, take care of something like that. Is that right? I think so,
I would think so.
yeah.
We have a militia.
Our attorney would probably know better than any of us.
The court clerk may opt to send out a summons and see if that sticks. You can also serve the accusatory instrument the old-fashioned way with a process server.
$200.
Well, yes. A fair service at a fair price.
That's right.
Listen, I'll deliver it for nothing.
Do we need to include something like that for,
You'll just give it back.
regulation of our codes?
Yeah.
Is it something the town should be looking for, costs of a process server?
For these quasi-criminal kind of prosecutions, and that's kind of how they're treated, you're not gonna recoup the money generally. It's not worth it. You'd just be jacking up costs for the town. The town already has the ability to do that if it wants to. And
Because it could be
normally,
added to the tax roll if it had to be for the cost to do a process server. You'd use it if you had someone that wasn't paying taxes.
I'm not sure the county allows you to lien that kind of stuff anymore.
Really?
Yeah, don't quote me on that, but I haven't taken a look at that in a while. I know they cut back when you used to be able to demo houses. You used to be able to get paid back. That was kind of neat. But that went away a few years back. But what you can do, generally speaking, is you hand deliver them. You can have the code enforcement officer, if necessary, serve it that way. And that usually works if you have to, except for some people who that's not going to work. And that's when you bring in the process server. Some towns use their police force for that, but usually town police forces aren't very big on that idea. Some towns appoint constables.
Right.
And like the town of Greece has constables, for example. And the constables around here in Monroe County are often the same folks who are the city marshals. And that's what they do all day is serve papers.
Okay, that's just a thought process.
I'm curious or something. When someone is cited by the code enforcement officer, does it start a process of a certain amount of time they have to comply?
They get 3 letters. If they don't respond, then they go to court. And then some people choose to ignore the letters and not go to court. But everyone gets treated the same. 3 letters, 5 days to respond from the time they receive the letter, and then we try to talk and resolve it, like mediate between us. And if it doesn't work, they get the 2nd letter, and the process goes to the 3rd letter, and then they go to court. They get a summons to go to court appearance.
Does it work the same way in mediation?
No.
So he never shows up at court?
I can't speak on that, but a few times he has not shown up for our requests.
Our issues.
Our what requests? Yeah.
Okay.
Motion to adjourn?
Second.
All in favor?
Yes.
Okay, we're all set.
Very